Welcome everyone to today's SED community meeting. It's March 20th, 2025. And we have some agenda. Let's see. Hold on. Let me pull this. And our first item is from Benjamin. Go ahead. Benjamin?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, this is for the, we were planning to release 3.6 in the last week, but we didn't make it because there's upgrade issue. When the user upgrade from 3.5 to 3.6, the upgrade failed. The reason is, I believe in the very first comment, there are detailed reason, detailed root cause. Because in the root cause is in the 2.5, the V2 store is the source of truth for the membership data. But in the V3, but in the 3.6, the V3 store is the source of truth for the membership data. In the 3.5, there is a bug. When we promote a learner to a voting member, the learner promotion operation is only persisted into the V2 store, not the V3 store. So this is a bug introduced in the 3.5.1. So all the existing 3.5 patch starting from 3.5.1 are affected by this issue. So we have already resolved this issue in 3.5, in 3.5.20. But unfortunately, we were planning to release 3.5.20 only this week and integrate it with the Kubernetes 1.33. But with for system that we can't make it because the Kubernetes code freeze probably in the later today.
Yeah.
So anyway, we will integrate the 3.5.20 with 1.33.1. Anyway, probably most likely in the late of April or in the beginning of May, something like that. So it's a long time ago, but 1 month later. So, but there's one thing for the community to be aware, for if the user want to upgrade from 3.5 to 3.6, the user must upgrade their version to 3.5.20 or higher patch version before upgrade to 2.6. Yeah, this is a limitation. We have no choice. We will get this included in the upgrade checklist. And I will also call out this in the KubeCon event. Yeah, this is only limitation for the upgrades.
Yeah, thank you, Benjamin, very much for leading the effort and everyone who participated in the fix. Really appreciate to solve it in such a short time.
Yeah,
Any
quick
questions? Yeah.
quick question. Note, and I think I asked Benjamin about this, but like privately. But so if Kubernetes 133.1 is gonna ship with 3.5.20, then anybody that does an upgrade from Kubernetes, let's say that Kubernetes 134 comes with etcd 3.6, then that should be clean because there's not gonna be an etcd upgrade issue. But if someone wants to upgrade from 133.0 that has etcd 3.5.19 to 134, then it's gonna have the upgrade issue. So I think it's worth mentioning maybe to the Kubernetes, like KubeAd. I don't know, maybe so they are aware that the upgrade may fail.
Yeah, we are just as I mentioned, we need to publish this announcement. We need to publish it in our upgrade checklist. The second, we need to. I'm working for the 2.6 release blog announcement blog. I will get it included in the blog. And thirdly, I will call it out in the KubeCon event. We have maintained a track session. And fourthly, yeah, I agree. More probably, we will also need to publish official announcements and send it to the Kubernetes Google group.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
I
should
agree.
send to Kubernetes staff. There are some lists that we should send. I think Nate and Josh have some good channels that we should send to. And regarding the Kubernetes upgrade, so Kubernetes doesn't allow skip level upgrade, so you can't upgrade from 1.30 to 1.34 anyway. But
Okay.
and then it depends on each cloud provider's configuration. People might have some like they might upgrade SD in a different step or like it's depends.
Yeah.
So
So
I think we should send the message that you can't you 3 point you have to have 3.520 before you upgrade to 3.6, and then people should know what they need to do. I feel like.
yeah, that was my point. I feel with cloud providers, they're always up to the latest patch. But if you have a COPS cluster of a self-hosted cluster, I don't think there's anything that, or at least in my experience, there's nothing that tells you like you can't miss a patch. But I may be wrong.
In that case, it's up to the cloud provider, whatever private or public cloud provider, to manage the LCD version. It's their responsibility to manage the LCD version. So we just need to publish the announcement. It's
Yeah.
up to the provider to manage the version.
Yeah, but yeah. So maybe what I'm not being clear is like when you have a self-hosted cluster that it's not in a cloud provider. So there's people like if it's bare metal or you have it deployed in COPS, or like you're not using the cloud provider. It's not that GKE or an AKS or a EKS cluster. So the user is more freely to update as they want. But yeah, it's just I just wanted to raise the awareness that yeah, we need to communicate to the Kubernetes to someone in Kubernetes so they are aware of this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we should communicate to entire Kubernetes dash.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah.
for raising that.
Mm-hmm.
There's specifically a SIG cluster lifecycle group for any of the upstream tools like KOps. We should make sure it's highlighted there, but that's not going to catch all of the like broader ecosystem.
Ben, do you mind adding that to our meeting notes at this SED's meeting notes?
Oh, yeah. Let me.
Yeah, I'm talking about the Ben the Elder, who just
Okay.
was talking. Yeah, so I invited Ben to this meeting. He is a steering committee and the TL of testing for the next topic. And yeah.
I can't edit.
Let me. Oh, okay.
But
I'll
it's SIG cluster lifecycle. I would suggest at least raising it there, but I also wouldn't count on that, reaching all of the cluster tools out there. But it will at least cover like KOps and KubeAtom, cluster API.
Okay. Anyway, let me draft publish the Google Doc first and send out for the review.
Sounds good. All right, any other questions for this topic? If not, Kishan, do you want to talk about the architecture change?
Hey on. So I think very recently we did add a couple of we did add a PPC64LE cluster to the workers. And so what exactly is the thing is that we have the cluster ready and we are at a point where we can run a few jobs. So as the first step, I think we did onboard the E2E tests for etcd onto prov jobs and just had the configs there. Things seem to be running okay for now. So as the next step, I think I went ahead to add the integration tests, UT, and so all that is there in place. So I've raised the PR for the same, and so that PR is under review right now. Thanks to Ben for that, for the hack for that. And so now the next steps is I think we are also inclined towards getting the tier 2 support. So even before we get there, our intention is to at least have the tests run on our platform pretty stable and get the consensus of the community that we are good enough for the tier 2 support. But I think going by the docs, I think we are still referring to some of the old links and PRs there, which I had referred to getting our architecture onboarded. So I'm not sure if there's anything that may have changed, or if there's something that needs to be taken care while we are, in the process of getting promoted to tier 2 or running the test jobs on our environment. So just wanted to take the feedback and input for the same, so I can probably account for all of it and make sure things are okay.
Yeah, from my perspective, if we want to promote architecture from tier 3 to tier 2 or even tier 1, we need to make sure we have enough test coverage. This first thing. But the more important thing, we don't know how many people users are interested in the PPC 64. Do we,
Right.
if we promote to the tier 1, it means we need to support that issue. If there's an issue we need to support, we need to spend effort to support, resolve it, to clear out the issue. It means we need to spend the resource on the platform architecture.
Right, Ben. Actually, the team here, right, where I work with is mostly consisting of engineers who work on certain Kubernetes projects in support for PP64LE. I think we are getting to a point where we are looking at issues, or filing fixes for flake tests, regardless of architecture. So we do have some amount of workforce here to help with that. But I think, yeah, as a gradual step, maybe it should be possible that we should get to a point where we will be having a good support system for PP64LE. But yeah, I just wanted to know if there's any process or something that needs to be followed for this matter.
Kishan, I know you're working at IBM, right? Do you happen to work with Sadif? Because I think he was the last person who bringing a new architecture to SB testing. He is in IBM?
Yeah, I don't know about Sadev. So
Okay. All right. Ben, if you were talking, you have been muted. Do you have anything to say about
I was
that?
thinking, also confusing because we have Benjamin Wang as well. I share some of the concerns raised earlier, basically for the core Kubernetes project. That's what I raised, like the the expectation later, like adding the CI right now is one thing, and I wouldn't personally block that, but I can understand where a project might not want to because of the implication later that this is going to be supported and may not be commensurate with the demand. But that's a call for etcd. From a Kubernetes K10 perspective, we have resources committed from IBM that were submitted to the CNCF. They've been onboarded so that they're available. Sub-projects can use them, and nothing really jumps out with this PR. Actually, I want to point out that in IBM's case, this is also more or less self-funding. We have some other vendors that were like, when we're running integration tests with things that they want to support, the CI is still actually running on one of the other platforms. In this case, we're actually running the tests on machines that IBM is providing. So the marginal cost of the project infrastructure is very low, image pulls. And so that kind of just leaves like, if this is something that you want to be supporting. I think that given the current PR is just periodic testing, that, you could ask for something like putting it in a different dashboard if you want a distance from it or something, but I don't think like having the tests running is going to cause problems in periodic. And something like pre-submit, I think that's something you need to be more careful with.
Okay. Yeah, periodical, adding the workflow at the periodical jobs might be okay, because it will not block any PR immediately.
Yeah, I think this is a net win as long as you still plan to ship releases for this platform, because now you have some signal you can look at before releases instead of just releasing it and hoping it works.
Yeah, the problem for now is I don't think for the etcd community, I don't think there is a formal process or workflow to how to promote our architecture from tier 3 to tier 2 or even tier 1. I don't think there's a process or procedure.
Yeah, James was the one who worked on ARM 64, promoting ARM 64 to
Because
I think
the problem is ARM64 is widely used. So everyone agreed to promote it to tier 1. There's no any objection. For the PBC64 is another story. I just mentioned I don't know how many people are interested in this architecture. So I'm not sure whether or not it was the community spent huge effort to support this architecture. But anyway, from my perspective, I don't expect there are much difference between architecture. For example, from etcd perspective, you shouldn't care about the architecture. The only component to care about the architecture is the storage engine bbots. But from my understanding, bbots should support PPC 64 already support that. So I'm not against to promote the PPC to the tier 1 to tier 2 for now. So I'm not against to that, as long as other maintainers agree as well.
Sure, Ben. Yeah, I think that should give some clarity to us. And yeah, I did also, I mean, like as the next step post this PR merges, I think there are a couple of jobs that run on the release branches, especially 3.5 and 3.6, if I'm not wrong. So yeah, I'll probably have the PRs raised for the same, so that even if we are not a tier 2 for say, or at least we would have the jobs running, and that should give us some confidence to confirm if things are indeed okay for the BP64 relay architecture from the CA standpoint.
sounds good.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, that's that's the only thing I had to check.
Thank you, Kishan, for working on this. All right, next item, Suyuan.
Hi. So I just want to highlight some updates I'm making to the feature development guide. So the changes will reflect the new development process using feature gates. So any new features should be onboarded through the feature gate. And also we're going to fully adopt the Kubernetes cap process. So we will need to, like, for new features, you will have the design, and then we'll have the list out the criteria for moving from alpha to beta to GA. So this way we're fully conformant with the Kubernetes new feature development process.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, just one comment. Yeah. So no, I agree. Just follow the Kubernetes, the KEP process is good. But if I don't think we have to follow this process for every feature. For example, it's just a small feature, a simple feature, I don't think we need to have to follow that process.
Oh, of course, the cap have a criteria. Like it's not
Okay.
like everything you have to do a cap. It's
Okay.
there is criteria. I'll add the link. You can take a look.
Okay, thanks.
We definitely avoid KEPs and other, like even the core Kubernetes project, when it's sufficiently small and non-controversial.
Yeah, but like especially for the things that could have difference between, like, change the behavior or have bigger impact, we should definitely have it in there.
Yeah, we can even like change the criteria for like etcd just as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as a production readiness reviewer, I would strongly recommend considering this process for things where it could have this kind of impact on production and like upgrade safetiness, that sort of thing. The KEP process works best for that. For other changes, it's really heavyweight and asks a lot of questions that are more aimed at how do I safely roll out this new functionality and get users to go through adopting it. It's kind of excessive or like a bug fix or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's probably, if we're getting to CAP, it's probably to have some SD expertise to like at least shadow the PR review process. Something to think about if anyone is interested. I think shadowing, the PR review shadowing is not as heavy as the PR review, right then? Elder?
Yeah, I just mean that like I'm pretty involved in the process of reviewing the part of the changes. The shadows do it first, so I've gotten to observe a lot of keps going through and like catching issues with thinking through how you safely introduce new functionality and make sure everyone's agreed on it. I think it's very useful for that. But I also do actually think that it is excessive for other changes, and you should like that is a good point to watch out for scope. If it's a small change, then it might not be worth it. I would say that I wouldn't just index on small though. It's also useful for having formal agreement for anything that someone might come ask later and go, well, why did you do this? Did we actually agree to it? It kind of helps make it clear that consensus has been achieved before shipping something.
Right. Thank you. Any questions? Suyan, probably we're sending a email to the SDD dev and Kubernetes dev for this as well.
Yeah, so I'll send that after we merge the PR. Oh, I'll also add the CAP criteria or exceptions into the PR.
All right. Thank you. And everyone helped to review the PR. Thank you. All right, and next, first of all, I want to congratulate Fu Wei to be SCD's new approver. Congratulations. Everybody should unmute and clap.
Yeah, congratulations, Fu Wei.
Congrats.
Well deserved.
Well deserved. You have done a lot of great works in the community for a very long time. Thank you very much. So along the similar line, our mentorship application is just closed. So we have like close to 300 applicants this time. So it will take a little long for processing all the candidates. The original result announcement date was around KubeCon, during or after KubeCon. Given the amount of applicants, it could very possibly run longer than original anticipation. So just be patient, we'll get there. And thank you for everyone who is interested to join this mentorship program. And one last thing I have is that KubeCon is the week after next. So I think this is the last community meeting before our KubeCon. Well, there is a bug triage meeting, but this is the last community meeting before KubeCon London. I think there are a couple of people that we know who are going to attend KubeCon London. Please help to fill out the SED kiosk table. And anything else? Benjamin and Ivan, did I miss anything about KubeCon?
So just I believe we have a part-time kiosk. So I just copied the format from the previous one, but I think we either have the morning or the afternoon, but I don't know who requested the kiosk. So maybe it's worth updating the spreadsheet so we can start putting our names there.
Nate, do you know where would we get the information about the kiosk? I didn't apply for that.
I think it may have been Josh, maybe. I don't know.
Nate, do you know?
I would put you in touch with probably just the events team, so events@cncf.io, or it might have been George. I think George Castro is managing the Project Pavilion, but I'm not sure if he's the one that you applied to. I do know he's traveling today, so but if you ping him maybe tomorrow,
Okay.
that'd be helpful. But I think the events team is, if they don't know right off the bat, they would be able to better direct you.
Okay. All right. Let me check with Josh first, and then if he doesn't know, I'll check with the event team or George. All right. Thank you, Nate.
Yep.
All right. That's all I have. Anything else? All right. If not, that's it for today. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Bye.
bye.
Thank you. Bye.